We had Judgment Day doing their dialogue, and then we had a package on Lyric Valedictorian, and then we got Pete Dunne, aka Butch, against Penta. And again, now that they're going all the way with this, with the lighting and the pyro, and the people like Penta, and they gave him all kinds of entrance and pomp and circumstance, and the announcers are pushing him. They're doing it right. Small opponents. Pete Dunne is, street urchin sized. And the opponents are athletic, so they can do the stuff, and he's not going to look bad in that respect. And I like this match better than I liked the debut match because he didn't start off with the nerves and flummoxing some things. They started out at 100 miles an hour, like we got to get everything in. And it settled down a little bit when Butch started getting his heat. But again, I think, he's settled down a little bit. He's a little anxious to wow everybody. But this was much better. Then Butch got the heat, and then Penta suddenly made a comeback, and it's 18 things from 18 directions. And I don't know how Dunne was supposed to sell some of them. But he hit he being Penta, hit the Canadian Destroyer, the Mexican Destroyer, at a big dive, but then Dunne foiled the Destroyer and got a 2 count, and then they went more back and forth, and finally Penta hit his finish 1, 2, 3. And as I said, I think it was smoother. I think Gable did a better job because Gable's better than Dunne. But Penta was smoother here. And again, as you've brought up, the people are predisposed to like him. Again, Dallas, a major metropolitan area. There's more liable to be people that know who he is and of his previous reputation, but they're pushed him on TV to the point where people should get the picture anywhere fairly soon. But I still think, to be honest, I'll say this and then I'll unleash you. It would have been better with his brother as a tag team. They would kind of look like a super team in this environment. They'd be like Jade and Bianca. They'd be on top. He'll be an attraction here as a single, but you can't tell me I don't think he's not going to be on the main event level of the Punks, the Rollins, the Drews, etc. Not only size-wise, but language barrier and experience at this style. It's going to take him a while. He's not a natural American worker like Eddie Guerrero was trained to be by his older brothers who'd already been established here, or truthfully, the phenomenon of Rey Mysterio where he could just do any goddamn thing in the world flawlessly. I think it would have been better as a team, but they're still doing the right thing. You tell me what you think.
Well, I think he's doing great so far, and I think he's been super over so far, 2 different markets, and sure, there are some fans that know him. I mean, that's how they know Cero Miedo right away. But this is 2 times in a row he got the ooh reaction. He got it the first time he did the Canadian or Mexican Destroyer with Chad Gable. You heard oohs. He got that again here. And then when he did something relatively simple for Penta, the handstand in the corner, or the headstand, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Same thing. Ooh, you never really hear that. So yeah, they're doing it right with him. So far, the fans are really into him. He's had the right opponents, and luckily WWE does have a good amount of guys that size. As far as Rey Fenix goes, that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
And Tony started... Again, there's 2 different ways to look at it. Tony started fucking around with the contract. Tony said, I'm not doing you any favors. I've paid you for a lot of time you're out. I'm extending your contract. Apparently, Tony also just pulled down his merch. So he won't be getting any merch royalties while he's sitting at home on the couch. I guess now the question is, how do they introduce Rey Fenix one day? Because that day will come eventually. But right now they're doing everything right with Penta, and he's getting a great reaction, and he has a cooler look than the average luchador. He just does. And if they don't fuck it up, he'll have a nice run, Maybe Intercontinental Champion at some point. Who knows? I don't see him main eventing, like you said, Punk, Rollins. No. I mean, that's ridiculous. He's never going to be there. Could they, if they were a tag team, would they be on top of the tag team division? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Would people pay as much attention to them against the tag team division as they will him as a single right now?
Well, but the important thing is he shouldn't be losing for some time, and it's easier to go up the tag team ranks without losing than it is the singles here with the amount of talent they've got at the top. Well, we will find out.
It's interesting to think about that, though. The Lucha Brothers and the Motor City Machine Guns. Lucha Brothers, and even Lucha Brothers and DIY, I bet that would tear the house down for them.
Yeah, and maybe they could put a mask on Gargano, too, so we wouldn't have to look at that face.
That could be the gimmick. He becomes like the opposite of Penta.
Well, how about this? Just loser of the match has to put a mask on.
Mask off versus mask on. You can make it a gimmick where it's each team puts something on the line.
What about a strip poker match? Now it sounds like fucking Shitstain is booking this thing. All right.